This is an urban planning class. Students are divided into several groups to discuss present urban planning situations by comparing several cities.
But hey, listen. Tokyo doesn't have an urban planning policy. That's why land prices are so high.
But there are also cities who have an urban planning policy and still have high land prices.
That's not the point. If you take a business district, in a space between the buildings, you find small shopping malls selling vegetables. Why allow such an inefficient system?
Well, this is the result of their community and the faulty tradition that still go in the big city.
You don't get it. These people are rich. They don't have to sell vegetables. You need to see this material. I feel so privileged to be Indian.
シポは積極的なのはいいんだけど、自分の意見を主張しすぎて相手の話を聞こうとしない。これではディスカッションが広がらないし、グループの雰囲気も悪くなる。
As in this example, because a particular student talks to excess, the discussion remains stagnant, creating an environment that makes it difficult for other group members to express their ideas. As a teacher, how would you deal with this situation? Try to think about, first, how you could prevent such a situation. Then, in the situation, what words would you use and what kind of behavior would be helpful?
I want to sit down. I mean, I feel
Excuse me, Sipo?
Yes?
Yeah, everyone, listen up. It seems like not everyone has had a chance to speak yet, so I want you guys to take some time out to think about the assignment, okay? So let's spend the next 2 minutes, let's call it thinking time, all right? And think amongst yourselves. When we reconvene, we're going to pick it up with those who haven't spoken yet, okay?
Okay.
All right, good. And Sipo, spend the next 2 minutes really thinking about your talking points, all right?
Understood.
Okay, good.
Okay, the rising land prices affect urban planning.
So it seems that it's become a problem even from the preservation of historical buildings.
Okay.
Listen up, guys. I really like the fact that you guys are actively engaged in your discussions, but it seems to me like the discussions are getting dominated by certain people and your points are getting one-sided, okay? Just want you to be aware of that. And Sipo,
Yes.
I'm going to designate you as a facilitator, okay? So remember, as a facilitator, your job is to let everyone speak, direct traffic, and help further the discussion, all right?
Okay.
Okay, good.
Right. Okay. Rikako, what do you think about Tokyo's urban planning?
Well, 100 years old wooden house still stand between high-rise, but I think this has cultural value.
So, do you think not only the economic point of view, but also the cultural aspects should be taken into consideration?
Well, yes.
What about you, Catherine?
Well, I think there must be a way to use a traditional building like this as a public space.
Sipo, may I? I understand your points, but don't you want to hear other people's ideas?
Yes, I guess so.
Okay, so you can go on, but before passing the baton to the next person, give us the shortest possible version of your talking points. Go ahead.
Well, in other words, when constructing a large city without planning like Tokyo, there are a lot of bad effects, like the rise in land prices. But as a result, I think overall, the city is becoming unbalanced.
Great, great. Let's hear from someone else. From now on, I want to make sure everyone gets to speak and gets heard, okay? So let's pick a timekeeper, someone who manages everyone's speaking time.
Interesting. So let's say 2 minutes for each person.
Sounds good.
Okay, so I will be timekeeper.
Ah, okay.
Great.
Then I will start. So I understood Zico's idea, but since Tokyo isn't the only example of cities with high land prices. I think there's a cultural influence in the price, since there are a lot of old buildings.
In group discussions, when only one person ends up talking, the environment becomes unfavorable for others to express their ideas. Also, during group work, teaching staff must observe the class and pay attention to the content and frequency of students' input into the discussion. This time, we have provided 3 examples of possible interactions. Making some thinking time. By initiating some thinking time during discussion, it is possible to reset the class atmosphere, making it easier for each student to prepare ideas and arguments. Also, it is good to encourage every student to share ideas after the thinking time. In each group, assign a facilitator responsible for the discussion's progress and for dividing tasks. With this strategy, classmates are able to manage the discussion's pace, and particular students are less likely to polarize the work group. In this situation, it is better to assign the facilitator's duties to students with a tendency to talk excessively. When a sole student continues to talk, provisionally stop the activity and ask the student to summarize the ideas. After this, try to encourage the student to listen to others' ideas and encourage other students to participate. Additionally, you can assign the job of managing the discussion time to students by having a timekeeper in each group. To avoid polarization in group discussions, before starting the activity, create some thinking time and let students share their ideas in pairs. This method is called Think, Pair, Share. Using this strategy, students can individually organize their own ideas and the discussion becomes more productive. Also, instead of instructing all of the students suddenly to start working in groups, start with pairs and ask them to share their arguments little by little with adjacent groups. This method enables you to increase the size of the groups progressively, achieving a more effective precaution strategy. Finally, if you know beforehand about students who monopolize the discussion or who remain in complete silence, consider different groupings, aiming for a more balanced distribution of students.
Let's call the next 2 minutes thinking time, and you're going to think amongst yourselves. When we reconvene, we'll pick up with those who haven't spoken yet. Now, as a facilitator, remember your job is to give everyone a chance to speak so everyone is heard, direct traffic, and help further the discussion. Summarize your ideas and give us the shortest version of your ideas. From now on, I want everybody to express his or her ideas as much as possible. We're going to pick a timekeeper who's responsible for each person's speaking time.